By Thursday, Wendy has asked 7 girls to join our team. Each turned her down. Most said they were already on a team, and one said she wasn't doing it. Her dad was a doctor, and he wrote an excuse. Such a big project would cause her anxiety. Oh boy. On the bus, Wendy asked, "So did you come up with any ideas for our project?" Last night, she assigned me a task. Come up with at least 20 possibilities. Nothing good. I had only 3, and I knew she wouldn't like any of them. Unclean cafeteria tables, unclean desks, unclean doorknobs. We know how she feels about cleanliness, right? Lucy likes it clean, let's just say that. That's okay. I've got some great ideas. What do you think of starting an all-girls school in Zambia? She asked, completely serious. Shrug. I wouldn't know how. I'm sure we could figure it out. She opens her notebook. But I have other ideas too. She reads me her list. Every suggestion is a huge project that will require a few $1 million and a team of experts. She wants to build a library in downtown Baltimore, or open a women's hospital in India, or run a search and rescue team that would rush to victims of tsunamis. Well, what do you think? I think we need something closer to home. My grandmother probably wouldn't let me leave the country. Maybe we could collect aluminum cans and recycle them? Wendy makes a gagging sound. Picking up trash? Really? That's not original. I wasn't offering to pick up trash. Now I make a gagging sound. The only thing more unoriginal is helping puppies find homes. She falls back into the seat and takes out a pen. I wouldn't want to do that either. I don't even like puppies, except on calendars and coffee mugs. Animals are unpredictable, and they can be weighed down with Clorox. She laughs. Don't worry, I'll come up with something perfect. And realistic? She shrugs, right? Because Wendy has these big plans that Lucy's a little unsure of. Wendy likes to think big, and she needs someone else to pull her back to earth. I'm her gravity. Oh, I like that. In math, Mr. Stoker starts class not with a review of the homework like he always does, but with a lecture on math in the real world. And it's awesome. While he's talking, I imagine showing him my world. He'd love to see math and numbers the way I do, in everything from the stars to building construction to ripples on a lake, even water draining in the sink. I see circles and bisecting triangles that form equations in my brain. If only there were an easy way, like wearing special glasses. A lightning strike is too painful, and results aren't guaranteed. Engineering, science, finance, computer development, teaching, banking, these all require mathematics. He leans forward on his stool. But so do government, art, writing, and love. Love? Maddie asks. Yes. There's a mathematician named Hannah Fry. She created an equation for finding your soulmate. Mr. Stoker does air quotes around soulmate. She used the optimal stopping theory. I know optimal stopping theory. It's a way to calculate the best time to do something, to figure out the best odds. It's usually used in finance or pricing, not romance. Say as an average adult, you date 20 people, and one of those 20 is your best fit for a spouse. Each time you date a person, you essentially must decide, do I marry this guy, do I marry this gal, or do I move on? The next person could be better, or he or she could be worse. Optimal stopping theory proposes the solution. Get it? Proposes. You propose to someone to get married. We give Mr. Stoker a few pity laughs. He continues explaining by drawing little stick men and women on the whiteboard. I don't mean to judge my classmates, but if I had to guess, I think Mr. Stoker's lesson goes over their heads. No thanks, Maddie says, and maybe she does get it. She's actually pretty smart. Evil, but smart. I'd rather try online dating than leave it up to this math theory. That is not a guarantee, but it is a way to maximize your success. With optimal stopping theory, you are 3 times more likely to pick your soulmate than if you were to randomly select one person from your field of 20 candidates. How romantic, Jennifer says. This country's divorce rate is over 50%. Maybe OST, optimal stopping theory, could help. Mr. Stoker continues talking about math as the basis of life, from cells to music, number, and patterns, control our world and can make it better. Mathematics is even being used in the courtroom. With enough dates from similar cases, a verdict can be determined with amazing accuracy. Maybe lawyers will eventually be obsolete. Not needed. My mom is a lawyer, Maddie calls out. I wouldn't say that around her. Mr. Stoker ignores the interruption. Now, these concepts are big and complicated, but I encourage you to remember the power of mathematics as you work on your service projects. Don't be afraid of numbers. Use them to compute your solutions. Look at the world as it is intended. He gives us the last 10 minutes of the period to work on our projects. Wendy drags her chair over to my desk. We need to use math, I say as she sits down. You want to save puppies and use math? Wendy asks. I never said anything about puppies. I shake my head. But yes, we definitely need to use math, and Mr. Stoker needs to be our faculty mentor. I have a math problem for you, she says. We are still a group of 2, and I think everyone already has a group. We look around the room. It's hard to tell whether everyone is already on a team. They could be working with someone in another class. I've already asked Peyton, Marjorie, Caitlin, Sarah, and Maddie, Wendy says. And since Wendy's not good at whispering, Maddie looks up from her cell phone, which she's playing with under her desk. She glares at us for even saying her name. You asked Maddie? Did you really think she'd want to be on my team? I'm sure Maddie would rather eat slugs than work with me. And I feel the same way, but I would never eat a slug. I don't even like shrimp. Wendy shrugs. I think she would have joined us if she hadn't already said yes to Daniela and Jasmine. They've started their project. I stare at Wendy to see if she's joking. She doesn't seem to be. I shake my head. Actually, I've asked everyone. She taps her fingers on my Clorox-clean desk. Uh-oh. Wendy, keep your hands to yourself. It would have been easier if the teachers assigned the teams, like Mrs. Shields did in social studies class for our Egypt project. But then I probably wouldn't have been with Wendy. Wendy puts her hand in the air and waves Mr. Stoker over like he's a waiter. Yes, ladies, Mr. Stoker says when he gets to my desk. Will you be our mentor? I speak before Wendy does. He grins. I thought you'd never ask. What are you considering as a... Mr. Stoker, Wendy says, we can't find another team member. I have asked literally every person in the 7th grade, so I think it is only fair if Lucy and I are on a team of 2. Is that okay? You've asked literally everyone, he says. Yes. Mr. Stoker clears his throat. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, does everyone have a service project team? See, Wendy says right away. Everyone is... I need a team. Levi interrupts. He doesn't look up from the notebook he's doodling in. Great, you can join Lucy and Wendy. Mr. Stoker taps the project sheet that sits on my desk. Add Levi's name. I hesitate. Levi's a cheater. Flashback. Remember, Levi and her got into trouble for cheating because Levi looked at her paper, but she also looked at Levi's paper in math. And I still haven't gotten my revenge, other than not talking to him for 15 days. That's a lot of time. But Mr. Stoker stands over me, waiting. I cave and write Levi's name in pencil. It can always be erased. So sassy. Good luck, team, Mr. Stoker says, and then walks over to Ethan. You have to actually do some work if you want to be on our team. Wendy orders Levi. He shrugs, but says nothing. Do you have any ideas? She asks. Nope. He never looks up from his notebook. I guess it doesn't matter. There are only 2 minutes left in class, and Wendy will probably make all the decisions anyways. Chapter 16. Wendy has ordered that our group meet at lunch on Monday. She and I get permission to go straight to the media center from science. A media center would be like a computer lab. Levi tells us he'll catch up. I wipe a small section of the table and then make the mistake of looking at the cloth Oh, it's grimier than when I clean my usual spot at lunch. I use extra hand sanitizer and make Wendy take some too. We share my sandwich, cookies, and chips, even though you're not supposed to eat in here. But we keep the food hidden behind a stack of books. Would you still be my friend if I didn't always have candy and cookies? I ask her. Of course, she says, but maybe not best friends. Phew. No, she's joking. Is that a sign of being real friends? When you know something, they say, should be followed by JK? After we finish our high-sugar foods, Wendy starts to panic. I should carry extra Jolly Ranchers to keep her calm in situations like this. He's not coming. I knew it. I'm going to talk to Mr. Stoker and get Levi kicked out of our team. It's not fair that we have to do all the work. We haven't really done any work yet. Lunch period isn't over, I say. He could still come. With only 8 minutes left, I'm starting to have my doubts, too. I don't know why we let him on our team. We didn't have a choice, I remind her, and I don't want him either. He's a cheater. You make it sound like he's your boyfriend, and he kissed someone else. Gross. Wendy slumps back in her chair. Maddie's group has a great project. We need a great project. What's theirs? I ask, but I don't really want to know. Filling backpacks with school supplies for refugee families. They have a goal of 200 backpacks for kids in kindergarten all the way through high school. And they're not going to have notebooks and pencils. They're not going to just have notebooks and pencils and stuff like that, but also gift cards so kids can buy new shoes. That's cool. Yeah, it is. She stares off into space. I get the feeling that Wendy wants to be on Team Maddie. Maybe I should suggest it. Free her from our agreement to be partners. If Maddie is only working with Jasmine and Daniela, they do have room for one more. Wendy, if you want to... Look who's finally here! Wendy sits up and points towards the door. Levi slides 2 books into the return slot. Then he talks to the librarian for a minute before walking over to us and collapsing into the chair next to mine. So, what are we going to do for this project? He asks. Where have you been? Wendy asks. A growing boy has got to eat. He pats his stomach. Wendy glares at me. At him. I can't believe you're so... Let's work on this project, I interrupt. Okay? Fine. Here are my suggestions. Wendy opens her notebook. She has 2 new pages of ideas, and she reads each outrageous proposal. Levi groans. Do you have anything reasonable in there? Doable. Remember, Wendy likes big ideas. With some work, they're all reasonable. Levi scans the list. Protecting sea lions from motorboats? How is that reasonable? We could put up signs and warn boaters that they are killing sea lions. We live 3 hours from the ocean. I've never even seen a sea lion. Wendy shuts her notebook and slaps it on the table. Lucy is the one who wants to save animals. What? No, I don't. No animals, please. I wave my hands like I'm stopping traffic. I suggested picking up cans on the side of the road. Assuming I can find industrial-grade rubber gloves. Save the animals? That isn't a problem, Levi says. It's a bumper sticker. I don't want to save animals, I say again, but neither Wendy nor Levi is listening to me. Okay, how about this? Find animals loving caring forever homes. Is that a bumper sticker? She asks Levi. A real crappy one. Wendy rolls her eyes. We still need to be more specific, I say. Like, what kind of animals do you want to save, Wendy? Dogs and cats, she says. But I know she'd rather save black rhinos or narwhals. Are you discriminating against snakes and turtles? Do they not need loving, caring, forever homes? Levi asks. Wendy puts a finger in Levi's face. I think the problem is that you make fun of everything I say. Shh! Mrs. Williamson snaps at us behind the checkout desk. The media center is a privilege. Sorry, Wendy says. Just write whatever you want, Levi says with a vague smile, and I notice the gap between his front teeth. This doesn't count for anything. We're still going to pass 7th grade even if we have a loser project. You're giving up already? Wendy asks. Not giving up, giving in. There's a difference. Levi throws his backpack onto the table. Wendy groans. I'm starting to think working on a team is a form of torture. The teachers are doing this as a part of a weird social experiment to see if they can make students hate each other. Levi opens his backpack and pulls out his camera. He places the button and then aims it at Wendy. Her scowl turns into a sweet smile, as if he has figured out how to tame her. When he points the camera in my direction, I hide behind a science textbook. Is this for your site? Wendy asks, hopeful. Levi reviews Wendy's picture on the back of the camera. Probably not. He presses the red delete button. I have no idea what they're talking about, but Wendy looks ready to strangle Levi again. You're not allowed to take pictures during school, she hisses. It's in the handbook. I could report you. Whatever. It's for our class, and you're not supposed to eat in here. He holds up my empty potato chip bag. Back to work. I jump in. We need to state our project as a problem with numbers. Ugh, I hate math, Levi mumbles. I jerk back like I've been slapped. That's the stupidest thing you've ever said. He gives me a questioning look. Sorry? Math makes sense, so maybe we could use numbers to express our problem and even the solution. How? Wendy asks. Like, there are 1,000 animals put down in our county every month. I make up that number, which is not something I usually do. It makes my stomach hurt. Oh my God, there are? Wendy snaps forward in a panic. I don't know. I was just trying to give an example. It's probably much, much less. I'll have to look up the number when I get home. I hate imprecise descriptions like lots, few, and hardly any. This is turning into a really morbid project. Deadly project. Levi says, counting dead animals? How about this? Only X number of animals are adopted each month from the local shelter. Is that a problem? Levi asks. Sounds like a statement. At least he doesn't call me a bumper sticker. It is a problem if another 200 are waiting to be adopted. Again, I'm making up numbers that I know nothing about. Feels like cheating. I got it, Wendy says. She writes and talks at the same time. On average, the Hamlin County Animal Control has 1,000 dogs and cats waiting to be adopted. The shelter can only hold 500. Now she's making up numbers and spreading a disease of inaccuracy. I guess that works. I'll look up the actual numbers tonight. It could be a good project. Levi? Wendy wants his input. Whatever. That counts as a yes from Levi. And the solution is, Wendy adds, we help the animals get adopted. She smiles. I know she's excited, and we don't even need to go to Africa. Or we could help the county build a bigger animal prison, Levi says, and Wendy glares at him. Shut up. We're going to save thousands of animals, like it or not. Right, Lucy? I guess. I'm not sure what just happened. I've never wanted to work with animals. I still don't. I only wanted Wendy and Levi to not kill each other. I guess I solved one problem. The Levi and Wendy problem, not the animal problem. We're going to read one last chapter because it's pretty short. Chapter 17. Finding the exact information I want about the animal shelter is impossible. On the Hamlin County Animal Control website, it says the department finds home for 95% of the healthy dogs and 78% of the healthy cats. It doesn't say what happens to the other 5% of dogs or the 22%, remember, percents are out of 100, of cats, and it doesn't explain what healthy means. So I call their office. Hamlin County Animal Control, a woman answers. How may I help you? Hi, my name is Lucy Callahan, and I have some questions for a school project. What kind of questions? How many dogs can your shelter hold? How many dogs get adopted each month? How many cats can you hold? How many cats? All that information is available on the website. No, it's not. I have the website open in front of me. Then it's not public information. I'm sorry. She doesn't sound sorry. You don't know how many dogs you have there? I ask. You just have to count. That's not my job. My job is to answer the phone. You're welcome to visit and count the animals. She's ready to hang up. Wait, what does the website mean by healthy? Excuse me? Your website says that 95% of healthy dogs get adopted. What does that mean? Out of the healthy animals that we recover or are surrendered, given up. We find homes for 95% of them. What happens to the sick animals? I asked. Like the animals with brain damage. The woman is quiet. I want her to say that they go to special homes where they are cared for. I don't have an answer for that. I do know that our adoption hours are Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 7 and Sundays noon to 5. We just want to help. She lets out a noisy breath. Volunteer information is also on the website, but you must be at least 16 years old or accompanied by a parent. Are you 16? No. Thank you for your call. Please spay or neuter your pets. The line goes quiet. That was a waste of 4 minutes. Frustrated, I call Wendy and tell her we can't save the animals. We aren't old enough. I'm kind of relieved. I'll fix this, Wendy says with complete confidence. How? I ask. You'll see. There are other animal shelters that would love to have us. If you say so. I'm hoping she's wrong. Hey, have you checked out Levi's page lately? What page? Art Boom. It's a website where people post paintings and pictures. It's supposed to be like an online art gallery. I think it's kind of dumb. Never heard of it. You should look at it. There are a lot of you. Really? My stomach drops. Personification. His username is Levi123. I say goodbye to Wendy and find Levi's page on Art Boom. Wendy may have exaggerated. There are only 3 pictures of me out of 45. 667,000%. Maybe it seems like a lot because there is only one of Wendy. 2 and 222,000%. His gallery is divided into 5 folders: bored, curious, angry, hurtful, and peaceful. And each has multiple black and white photos. I'm under curious twice and angry once. That's the picture from Mr. Stoker's room after I was accused of cheating. Wendy's picture is in the bored tab. Her chin is resting in her hand and she's staring out the window instead of at the book in front of her. There's a gold star in the corner of Levi's page. It has been selected as Best of the Month by the Art Boom community. I click each picture to view it at full size. Even without the labels typed across the top of the page, I could have guessed the emotion for every picture. Levi sees things in an instant that I must miss every day. When I enlarge one of the pictures under the Hurts tab, I'm surprised to see it's Maddie. I almost didn't recognize her. Her dark hair covers half her face and her arms are wrapped around her chest like she's cold. The other people in the background are out of focus, but I can tell she's in the cafeteria. What was happening that day? There are no tears. Yet. Levi's captured that split second before her eyes fill. I can imagine that a moment later she was running off to the bathroom to be alone. Levi and I live in the same world, but we see things very differently. I guess it would be boring if we all had the same view. Later that night, when Nana and I are watching TV, my phone vibrates. I shouldn't have doubted Wendy. She's pushing our project forward. Wendy. The pet hut. Tomorrow, after school. My sister will drive it. Levi. Whatever.